Hello, everyone. I think we're live again. Welcome to another Digital Creativity Lab. My name is Sara, and I'm leading this activity for, I think this is our fourth or fifth week now. I hope you followed the previous ones, and if you didn't, don't worry about it. There's recording of everything we do here in NeuroLove. You can find them on our YouTube channel. All right, if you're following on YouTube, you have an option to click pause, to rewind back, or do these things in your own pace. That is a really good feature for you if you want to do this maybe slower, or you want to do that over 2 hours and make a bigger project out of it. If you're in a rush, you can also put it a little bit faster, and then you'll see you can skip this bit and go straight to when we do practical things. So if you did this workshop before, you will know that we first talk a little bit, we have a little bit of inspiration, we learn a new tool, and then we make a project out of a new online or an app software that I've found for you this week. Right, so Digital Creativity Lab, again, is here for you. It's your time, it's your creativity, it's your imagination, and you are free to create whatever your mind is up to. I'm going to be following my mind and my ideas, but I would absolutely love to see you developing your own thinking, your own ideas, and express yourself this way. This week, we're going to be following our schedule. So if you see here, we have a few ideas that I've presented in our first Digital Creativity Lab. It goes on and on and on. These are just a few ideas of things we are covering in this workshop. And in the last few weeks, we've done our own typeface font. We've done some animations with digital drawing. We've done some, as you can see here, graphic design with Canva. We're going to repeat that probably later with more tips on how to edit your photos or create really cool social media posts, because Canva is huge and there's a lot to do there. Of course, we did dig a little bit into 3D modeling. If you were with us 3 weeks ago, we did 3D modeling with SketchUp. There's also other softwares that we can use for this, like Vector you can see here. And that's going to happen in a few weeks' time. So if you want to follow up on these things, just join us every Tuesday live on YouTube, or you can sign up to join me here on Zoom. If you're on Zoom with me, you have an option to chat with me in this program, or you can also leave your answers in YouTube, and I will try to see that as we go on. It might take me a few minutes because there is a little lag from YouTube Live and Zoom, but don't worry about it. I will try my best to answer your questions. If you're watching this later as a recording, you don't have a chat option, but you have comments below, which means that you can put any worries or questions that you might have, and I will come after maybe a few hours to answer your questions. I would love to connect with you, so please leave your handle or some sort of communication link, and we can continue this kind of collaboration, creative collaboration. You might be wondering what we're doing today. And before I tell you that, I wanted to say something about last week. Last week, we didn't have Digital Creativity Lab. I was on a little break. I went on my holiday, and I wanted to tell you why my holiday was so important. I was doing a digital detox. And when I say that I'm doing digital detox, people usually get confused, because I am a person that really likes all digital stuff, all gadgets and internet sources, softwares. I'm really into all those things, but I do digital detox myself. I do it mainly because I want to nurture my creativity. If you're constantly in this digital world, it's very fast-going, fast-paced environment. It's connecting the whole world. And at any point in time, there is someone who is awake and active online in our global networks, which means that you have this kind of a fear of missing out on some information that's going to appear online if you go to sleep, if you disconnect, if you're not online. And I think it's really important to have that time off so that you can grow in different directions. You can see new things in your offline world, get inspired by new things, and then come back to your digital community. Nothing's gonna go away. You'll still be able to catch up. And if you're familiar with the term FOMO, fear of missing out, you might find this session interesting, because I'm going to try to turn your FOMO into joy of missing out. JOMO, yeah. So we're going to try to find some joy in digital detox. We're going to, of course, use some creativity tools today. And for you today, I have something really special, something I'm passionate about. It's comics. I don't know if you've read some comics when you were younger, or you still read some really cool comics, if you have them at home, if you read them digitally, whichever it is, we're going to be creating one ourselves today. Right. So, digital creativity. I didn't give you a definition, but yeah, if you are new here, you can see on this little post-it that digital creativity that we're covering here and developing in these sessions is all about digital tools and technologies that we use to explore and present creative ideas. Those ideas can be our own ideas or ideas that we want to share, some other ideas that inspire us. So today I'm going to share my own ideas, and I want you to share what your mind is up to. Right, we're going to be sharing our own creative expressions via comics. We're going to create comics. Right, so digital detox comics. That's going to be fun. It's almost ironic, actually, but that kind of combination, but I'm telling you, it works. Right, so I'm going to stop sharing now so that you can see me better. Right, and I want to show you some examples of comics. When I talk about comics and when I teach people about comics, I always say it's like animation, but in fewer frames. If you remember 3 weeks ago, when we were doing animations in our, that was Digital Creativity Lab week 2. If you want to go to YouTube and see that recording, feel free to press pause, go back. Animation is really like a very detailed comic. It, separates every movement of every character. But if you're doing a comic, you don't need to show that much. You just show the reader what happens next. They imagine themselves how that character moves to the next screen. And I wanted to show you some examples. You can do book comics, so stuff like this, or you can do web digital online comics, which you can find online, so it's not printed as a book. But sometimes it's the same kind of design that just gets printed. So if your comic ends up really popular online, you might be that lucky person that gets it published. Isn't that a great idea? Great motivation to do this. Okay, so I'm going to show you 2 examples of book comics. This one is one of my favorites. I really do like Artemis Fowl. I've created a lot of AR materials recently with Artemis Fowl, so I read all of these comics as well. So you can see here that sometimes you show conversation, same character with just different bubbles so that you can add more text on one frame, or sometimes it's without text, but it shows action, shows what's happening in this imaginary world. So you can put focus on some movement, or you can put focus on text. That's your choice as a designer. Of course, characters are the main thing here. You design your characters and you draw them so many times that you know them really well. What we're gonna do today is digital comics, so you're not gonna need to draw. You're gonna need paper, pen to plan, and your laptop or computer to follow this and create it online in a little web software. Right, another book that I want to show you that has the best comic use I've seen in my life It's called Meanwhile, and it's like a game. So you've got comics, very fun, simple comics. But as you can see, you continue here using these like tabs on pages, and you pick your own adventure. So depending on where you've end up, you can go back. So depending on your answer, you pick a page that continues your adventure. And there are so many different options for you, depending on how you continue your comic. So if you want to design something like this, it's going to take ages for you. So be prepared to have a new hobby. But I would love to see more books like this. If someone here is creating and willing to create another book like this, please let me know. I will buy it. I will buy it first, I promise. Right. So that's our book comics. Now, let me show you a different side of this. So digital comics. We're going to focus today on digital comics. So I want to share with you, just 1 second, 3 different tools, online tools that you can use to create comics. So I found 3, but maybe there are more. Pixton is one site that lets you create comics, and this is one example that I wanted to show you. So we're now in the stage of inspiration. Watch this, and we're going to read it together. And I want you to think about your own story. What would you like to share today? What kind of comics you want to create? This comic is called Rain, and it's lovely. It's inspirational. So there's this guy who is walking in rain, and his friend. And then one says, Sam, you know, you can use my umbrella. And Sam thinks and says, no thanks, my hoodie works fine. But it's still gotta be annoying, you're getting wet. I just so happen to like getting wet. Come on, it's fine. By the way you look, by the way you look, people might think that you're depressed. Is that how people describe depression then? No. Then why is rain related to that? Well, rain away symbolizes sadness. That's because when the clouds cover the sun, everything feels gloomy and dark. The sun is what makes us feel awake and alive. It's what scientists say. I'm guessing you randomly searched that up, didn't you? And he says, yeah, I was curious. See, this is text related feed. I also added my own take on it. What would that be? I see each raindrop as a problem I have to deal with. You can see many people running around with some covering around their head. They don't want their problems to get to them. It's a really nice metaphor. That's why I use an umbrella when it rains. It's me taking action not to let my problems affect on who I am. You must have a lot of problems, Sam says. Yeah. And then Sam will share with us his idea of rain. You know, I have my own take on this rain thing. Well, let's hear it. During sunny days, I've always felt trapped. I've always looked at what's below me or what's right in front of me. But every day I keep forgetting that there is a sky up there, my dreams. The sky is unreachable, just like my own dreams are. I've always had to deal with what I have now and forget that I even have dreams that I want to accomplish. But the rain is from the sky. The raindrops are fragments of my dreams, my accomplishments. The rain gives me a nice reminder that the sky is still there, not an imaginary thing. My dream is something I can achieve. It gives me a relief. I would have known I can reach it. I wouldn't have known I can reach it unless I give up and settle to stay inside with a roof over my head where rain can't reach me. And if this rain is a reminder that I can do anything and anything, then I tend to catch as much rain as I can. Right. Now you see them, and you see Sam stealing away his umbrella so that this boy can also get wet. Let's do our beliefs together and help each other. You will find hope and achieve your goals, while I won't let anything get in my way. Right, so that's the comic that I wanted to show you. It's got a lot of frames. You can see it's a long, long comic. It's got some frames which are focused on text, where you can see conversation going on, and you can see some which just emphasize thinking. If you want to make this illusion of someone thinking, you make 2 or 3 screens of someone without text, just standing or thinking, or getting wet in rain. That is an example of Pixton comic. That's how comics look when you design them in Pixton, but that's not the only tool that you can use. Right, so the other one is Strip Generator. That one is more like drawing style, when like a simple human forms with a little text on it. It's very text-based. It's not as artistic, I would say. So if you want to use this tool, here is an example of how that looks like. That's a really, really short one, and it's about stalking. The girl says, "What do you do in your free time?" The guy says, "I stalk people." "Oh, well, I like to paint," the girl says. And the guy who likes to stalk says, "Oh, I know." It's a great platform to share your jokes, to make them visually in a comic, and to share it with community. You will, I think, be able to create different styles, but it's quite simple in terms of characters and shapes and colors you can use. Third one that we're going to be using today is also my favorite, and it's called Make Believe Comics. Right, so you can see how it looks like. Its site is called makebelievecomics.com. You can go and check it out. Put that in your laptop, have it in front of you to see what you've got. See, here you have 3 screens, but that's not a limiting factor for you. You have a little plus over here. It says 1, 2, 3, and then you can add pluses to add more screens. There is a maximum of 18 panels or screens or frames, which means that you need to create a comic that is not as big as that rain one that we just read. And to be able to organize yourself with that, you see you have those characters down there that you can use, and balloons and objects. And I'm going to talk all about that a little bit later, because I think we need to focus on the story. Right, to focus on the story, I've got a little video for you that's going to lead us through story, drawing, and all the components of our comic. However, be warned, this is kind of funny, a bit sarcastic, so, take it with that kind of attitude. So let's continue with how to make a web comic. If you have a piece of paper and a pen, I would recommend you grab it, and we're gonna together create our comic.
Hello, welcome to this highly professional tutorial on how to make your very own internet webcomic. Now, you're probably eager to jump right in and start doing something completely reckless like drawing. But hold on there, fucker. First, we need to cover the most essential part of comic creation. Metaphorical vertebrae that you web comic is. These are all comic would be nothing without the that you passed off as humor. The choice is
yours. I'm stopping here because I want you to think about the story you're going to share. Right, my story is going to be about digital detox. What is your theme going to be? What kind of comic do you want to create? I'm yet not sure if I'm going to make my comic humorous or just as a educational comic to share the idea of digital detox and why it's important. So maybe if we start with a blank piece of paper, write our idea as a topic. 1 sentence on what idea you want to share. Keep in mind, it cannot be too complicated. You've got 18 panels, right? 1 minute or less to write your 1 sentence. You can do this. What's currently on your mind? Come on. I'm going to be working on digital detox because I was really inspired with how wondrous effects it had on me of not having my phone constantly with me and not checking online community and what's going on there. Right, so I've chosen educational comic and my topic is going to be digital detox. What is your topic? What are you working on? Write it in the chat, write it in the comments. I would love to have this kind of interactive work with you guys. So maybe it's also cool to see your progress, your process of the first idea you come up with and what's going to be the final idea once we're done with this. Right, we have an idea. We have a type of a comic that we want to create. Let's see what this little guy tells us we need to do next.
If you want to make a comic that involves an actual story.
I'm sorry, my internet is...
Like character development and plot, then you can just leave now. Those things actually require talent and effort.
Right, you're gonna do some character development and you're gonna do some plot. This video...
I have no idea how to do that. But if you're an ambitious pupil of the randomness of whatever happens to come to mind webcomic category, then you came to the right place. And the next
random mess. We can do random mess. What's going on with the internet?
step in the idea process is to actually come up with those ideas. But that easy, right? You can make a comic on just about anything. You know, just make it funny. Now that you know what kind of webcomic you want to make. Have a plethora of ideas to go with it. Can I make my character now? Of course not. First you have...
Right. Maybe if we skip the video and I lead you through this. Right. Next step in our journey towards comic is to find your drawing style. If you remember exercises that we did previously in other workshops, you can see that we were trying to draw something on paper to learn how to see what kind of style we actually can produce and what we're satisfied with. So learning to draw is a process, and if you want to seriously draw like things, you can find more tutorials on that with Carla. She does an art workshop for us, so that's under recordings. But for now, you can draw a stickman. If you draw a stickman like that, that should be enough. If you can draw that, you can create a comic. Right, so your stickman needs to have some sort of character. You can decide on some identifying characteristic, like hair, or, it can have an emotion. So this lady here is gonna be angry. That's an angry woman, right? Draw something like that to start to see what kind of style of comic do you want. There's some really famous one with stickmen, with different designs of human. What is in focus? Is it a face? Is it their body? Is it type of hair, noses, stuff like that? Maybe focus on one thing, develop that further, and we can start thinking about how to develop our story. Right, so focus on the idea that you have only 18 panels to use. You don't need to use all 18, but you want to start with something like a storyboard. For me, it's easier to make a combination of traditional paper-based comics and then turn it into a digital one. So I usually start with panels. I've drawn 3 for myself because that would be basic. And then I can build on that more and more. You can start with your storyboard, create it in paper to see how you progress from one panel to another. How many do you need to finish your story, and in which order they go? Once you're done with that, so if you want to create that now, press pause and try to draw on paper. If you want to skip that, if you don't want to do any drawing on paper, that's fine too. You can still participate. We're going to move now to digital creation. I'm going to show you what I have. So this is a comic that I've created on paper. It's got 12 panels. It's a lot of work. I might skip a few to make it a bit easier to create, or I will see how many I can create now and then share it later online with you. I'm going to start creating this with our Make Believes comics, and I'm going to introduce you to characters, objects, balloons, everything that you can use there to create your comic. Right, so at this point, you need to have your story. You need to have your type of comic that you want. You could have a brief idea of how do you want this comic to be drawn. So what kind of style would you like to see? In digital comics, usually you don't get to draw them yourself. So you pick from available characters. To show you which characters I'm talking about, I'm gonna share my screen with you. So we're going straight to makebelievecomics.com. Ready, steady, we are here. Right. So I'm on my first panel right here. So this is the site you should be on. You can sign in or not, that's your decision. If you do sign in and put your email address into this site, you're going to be able to save your progress and come back later, which can be useful. And rest is really free. You can use them regardless of your sign-in process. We have 3 panels here, and I'm going to start with introducing 2 characters. I've decided to have one character that is very dependent on digital technology, which would be me 2 weeks ago. And I would have another character, someone wiser, smarter, older, who is going to make a point of that need for digital detox. My story is then going to go on with this girl thinking about digital detox and deciding to do it. Then few examples and the result. So it's going to be relatively simple comic with a strong message, I hope. For that, I would need 2 characters. If you see these options below, you have some guidance as well. If you want to create a comic and you don't know what would be your topic, you have all comic starters, which helps you start your comic, right? You have characters, you have balloons and prompts, which are objects that you can write text in, which help with interaction between your characters. You have objects, masks to put on your characters, backgrounds, background colors, some words, and special sets of characters which hold digital devices you wouldn't believe. And of course, some word clouds. When you see these words as a special category, it's got all the boom, splat, bam, crush, eek sounds that you usually see in comics. So that's all there and ready for you. And we are now gonna start creating my comic, and you will gonna create your own comic. I do encourage you to follow these steps and create your own comics as we go. At first, I need to decide on my 2 characters. So I'm gonna go with, we have this news reporter. Let's see which poses it has. Interesting. So if you click on a character, it gives you several emotions and poses because, you know, you need to have some diversity in what your character does. So for example, this one here, it's a painter. And I'm gonna have this lady over here. Yeah, gonna put that lady in the corner. You can see here on each panel we have options to move, scale, bring to front if you have several objects that you're placing, and you can flip the side if they're facing a side it's not really good for you. You can of course delete if you put something accidentally. I'm gonna need my character to be in the first 3 scenes. So I'm just gonna put, oh no, that was wrong. I need to, there we go, panel 2, and I'm gonna add more of my characters. Here in the second panel, she's gonna speak, so I'm gonna make her bigger. In the third panel, I have a second character only, and on the fourth panel, my character is going away. So I'm just gonna move her in the corner. Right, so I'm gonna go to my panel 1 and pick a different character. This character is very dependent on technology, so I'm gonna pick from this special group, Digital Enthusiasts. It gives you a little introduction to what this is about. And then you have a whole series of different digital enthusiasts. I'm gonna pick one with a phone. Maybe this one. That one looks like me actually, wouldn't you say? Maybe a different one. You have plenty. You have people on computers, you have people on tablets, on phones. So let's say I need a younger person. Yeah, that was a good choice, I think. Right, it's gonna be Sara on the phone. I'm gonna show you how to scale. So you need to click on the item that you want to scale and make it a little bit smaller. Then I'm gonna move it again. And now we're gonna add, oh, not here. Add few more characters because they are present in discussions later on as well. So I'm just gonna save my time here, and due to the fact that I have all this planned on paper, I know exactly where these characters need to be. So panel 3 is just digitally intoxicated Sara speaking. So here it's gonna be, maybe we can flip this character as well. So it's on the other side, facing the other direction, right? And this one here as well. Brilliant, okay. Now, before we start with bubbles, I'm gonna save this. Oh, I need a name, that's fair enough. This is going to be called Digital Detox, and my author name is Sara. Brilliant. Okay, saved. Now I'm safe that if I click on something and it refreshes the page, that it's still gonna, things are still gonna be there. So let's try this. Let's try the bubbles now. You can use the bubbles to explain time of the day or like later that year, or just thoughts and speech bubbles as well. So to start with, I think I need a smaller speech bubble. This one here. And the words is gonna be, I just constantly feel down or distracted. that could work. And then on the second screen, we will have this lovely lady suggesting something. You can, of course, scale the bubbles as well. So if I need this bubble to be a little bit smaller, that's fine. You use the menu below. It's quite easy and straightforward. So this character is going to ask, are you actually doing anything for something for your well-being? Oh, maybe a smaller bubble would be a good idea. You can see. Altogether, it's too big, that bubble. But you know what? You can copy and paste things. So I'm gonna just add a smaller bubble. There we go. And I'm gonna flip it. Right, move. And that one is too small again. Let's try this one. Oh, brilliant. Okay, this one we can delete. I'm gonna move the bubble now. Are you creating your comic as we go? You can post on your progress. Let us know how you're doing. We can maybe explore some objects now. In objects, you have these exams, failed and successful exams. You have some food, you have masks as well. Would be a cool touch to put some masks on people at this point. Very relevant. Travel ones, of course, something about long distance places and your luggage and music. Different kinds of activities that you can add. Money, photos, digital technology, all the animals. So there are a lot of options that you can use here to combine and make your story more interactive, more relevant to people who are reading. And another thing that you can add is backgrounds. So for these things, I can search for some background that would fit this story. Do you remember that one with rain that we read? That one fits, the story fits the background, so you don't need to create all those elements. It's already in the background. It saves you a lot of time. So maybe if we put, so it can be black and white if that's your style, or it can be in color. I think I might, let's see how that works. That is too many elements, I would say. So I might just pick a background color. So if I go with something yellowish, or pink, purple. I'm gonna leave aquarium there and just move to a more colorful backgrounds as we go. Right, I have 4 bubbles now. I'm gonna create more, I have 4 panels now. I'm gonna create a few more talk balloons, and as we go, I think I'm gonna have to go over this hour to finish mine. But the main thing here as a speech bubble is this one. No, in the wrong panel, of course. No, that one is too small for what I want to say. My character needs to say now, I'm following mental health awareness hashtag, but really don't have time for myself. That's going to require a big bubble. Place it here. No. Oh man, what's happening? Yeah, you see, I did click on wrong button and reload the page. Internet is giving me trouble today, but I think it should be saved. Yeah, There you go. Brilliant. So I still have my comic, it's saved, which gives you a bit of safety to know that no matter what you do, things are going to be saved for as your progress. Right, let's try again. I'm following hashtag mental health awareness. Are you following this hashtag? Because you should. On social media, but I have no time for myself. How many times have you guys said that you don't have time for yourself, that you don't have enough time, that you're too busy, that the day just doesn't have enough hours for you to do everything you wanted to do? This character has exactly the same issue. And now let's see what the other character is suggesting. All right. She's gonna say, oh man, you teens really need some digital detox. Do you know how digital detox is done? Did any of you actually do at any point some digital detox when you decided to go offline, you deleted some of your profiles or something, you in a way stopped yourself from going online? If you did, please write it in the chat, in the comments. I want to see and hear, how did you do that? What happened? How did you feel? How long did you manage to do that? I personally did it for 3 days and I feel proud. I know some people can do it for a lot longer. It's not that I have really serious FOMO. I am not dependent that much on checking my social media. I just feel worried that my email is gonna receive some important things for my work or uni, and that I'm not gonna see that in time, and that some other people might be furious with me. So that's my type of FOMO. What kind of FOMO do you have? And also what kind of, which social media do you check the most? Want to see my next panels? They're gonna be very funny, actually. It's gonna be 3 panels, and in all 3, I'm gonna have this focus on thinking. I'm gonna have this character think about what this character is gonna think about digital detox, and is that really for her? So to do that, I need to find my character again, add it to these screens. And as you've seen in those, in the book that I've shown you, you can zoom out and show this kind of highlight on how deeply someone is thinking. So we're gonna do that by scrolling out, zooming out from this scene. First scene is gonna be my character thinking. So there she is. I might flip her and move her here, and she's gonna be thinking. That should be actually a thinking bubble. My mistake. Let's try with thinking bubbles. They're similar to speech bubbles, but they have bubbles. So it looks like this. It's not that you're saying something, you're thinking about it. So if you put many dots, it's that person thinking. And in the next screen, this repetition is going to happen. So in 2 following screens, same action is happening. Do you remember when we did graphic design and we talked about repetition and the power of repetition? It shows people this action is long. It shows people that, you know, it's going on and it's really important, it's really intense. To make it really intense, I'm going to move and zoom out from this character to her house. So let's see if we have houses in our objects. Oh, again, I'm in the wrong screen. There we go. So I'm going to put this, and I'm going to choose background as well. Background's going to be probably green. Yeah. And this one's going to be green too. And this one's going to be green too. Brilliant. Okay. So that is ready now. She's thinking while on her phone. She's thinking, we're zooming out the whole city and now to the whole planet. Let's see how we can do the planet. I'm hoping they have an object that is whole planet. Maybe. A spaceship could be a great touch. I just need a planet. Right, it's not under objects, which means that I can probably find it in backgrounds. Something spacey. Something really far. Can't find it really. Okay. In that case, we're gonna skip this then, the whole thing. And we're gonna have her deciding that she's gonna do a digital detox. So same character. Which characters are you using? Are you doing this digital bit? And maybe I can add another bubble here of her deciding that she's gonna do it. Right. No. Okay, right. Okay, digital detox is, oh, misspelled. Right, and now we put, I've put it to Russian. You have several languages that you can use. You can use Croatian, which is my language. You can use English as well. I'm so happy to see Croatian here. Amazing. Right, I'm going to put another object to make this scene a bit more homey. There's going to be a cactus and there's going to be another plant. There we go. Looks a bit homey. Brilliant. Maybe here as well. Come on. Right. So now we're back in our 7th panel, and I'm going to add another one just to make this a bit quicker. She's going to try with some yoga because she's going to be bored. That is here planned. So if you have your plan, you just follow this, add characters, you know what's going on, you have it all planned. That's making your process much easier. Otherwise, you're gonna have to think about it as you're doing it, going back and forth, trying to fix your mistakes, maybe adding a few more panels, and to make sure that she understands what digital detox is, I'm gonna make one slide here, one panel that shows her being off her phone and everyone else, literally everyone else, being on their phones. There's gonna be, I'm gonna flip this character. Okay, maybe too many ladies here. We want to show that men do it too. Now all of them are quite old. Let's find some younger character. And this one right here. Right. And I'm gonna have to scale them, of course, to make this bit better as a scene. You can see I've flipped these two characters to put them on the same side. This one was good from the start, and I'm going to move them now. This is like a background. I'm trying to here show that she's surrounded with people on their phones. And I'm going to have my character now. Or some similar character with blonde hair that now doesn't have her phone. Let's see if we have a blonde character here. Make sure they're similar so that people can figure out what your message is. You have those black and white characters, if that's your style, if your style is more maybe this. Now it's all black and white. Let's try with that blonde one that I've seen. How many characters do you have? How long is your comic at this point? Tell me all about it. Right, I'm gonna use this character, even though this character is pregnant. I'm gonna move her a little bit down and use that. Add 2 more scenes. And here maybe something a bit different. There we go. She's happy now. That's the whole point of Detox, for you to realize. Right, I need more speech bubbles, of course, for this comic to work. We have a few more minutes. I'm gonna try to rush and finish my comic. That would be a great thing. Let's see if we can do it. Right. She's gonna say, hey everyone. Anyone? Right. That's her realizing that she's trying to now make contact with people off networks while everyone around her is on their phone. Quite difficult, I have to say. And on our screen number 8 or 9, she's gonna realize and say, okay, maybe I do have time myself. There we go. And I'm gonna add some nice plants for this to be all zen and green. And then I'm gonna show you how to save your comic. Okay. Brilliant. And here we're gonna have another character. I don't know if you've seen it when I was scrolling. There is this one that I really like. She's doing exercises. She's doing yoga. Right, so I'm gonna add several of them to kind of demonstrate that our character has been working out. For that, I need to again scale my character and this one as well. They're again gonna be in the corner of my scene, of my panel, which I do with the move button. And gonna need my character, my pregnant character again. We're using it just because the face fits. And are we gonna, no, we're not gonna make her stressed. She's just been in yoga. She's gonna be all zen. That's not zen, maybe the happy one. I'm gonna flip the screen, maybe move that a little bit, add more objects or activities that you connect to having time for yourself. You know, connect it with activities and things that are offline, maybe a bit of music. There's a guitar. We'll add, what else? A book. Maybe there's a book that we can add. Or traveling. There's a suitcase. Brilliant. Gonna make a case for a bit of traveling and a bike. She's been doing physical activity. She's been around, getting to know her city. And what else? What else do you think is good detox? Detox singing? Now, where are the books? There must be a book. Yeah, brilliant. We have a book. That's going to be our final little object. And I'm going to add backgrounds to this and finish this off. Right. So this is going to be yellow. And this too. You pick your own colors, of course. You can add a lot of other things depending on what your topic is. I think my comic is now kind of finished. I have 10 panels. Let's see how that works. Print or email. This is my whole comic now. So there's the character saying, "Oh, I just constantly feel distracted." Then this is the other character suggesting that she should do digital detox. She doesn't have time for that kind of things. Then she thinks about it a lot, decides that she's going to do a detox, tries to speak with people. No one is speaking to her because they're all on their phones. Then she turns to other activities and realizes that she does have time for herself. Brilliant. You can save this image on your disk. You can print it. You can send it as an email. And I'm gonna save that. Let's see how that works out. Okay, it's allowing me to save it on my computer. I'm gonna open it and share it with you guys. That's gonna be a new screen share. 1 second, my computer is very slow, of course. This is a lot of internet for it. I think you can see this now. This is my whole comic. That's how it turns out. If you have more panels, it's showing all your panels. Of course, if it's just 6, it gets a bit bigger. And this image now I can share online. I can share it on social media. And I would actually suggest that you do too. If your comic is now finished, I would like to see your comics. What you need to do is quite simple. We have NeuroLove. Our whole team has 3 different accounts on social media. So if your preferred network is Instagram, you just tag us with our tag is NeuroChampions. That's our account. So if you want us to see it, it can be in your stories or in your posts. Please do tag us, and we're going to be able to see it and comment on it and celebrate it with you. If you're using Facebook, we have a Facebook page. It's called neurolove.org. And if you're using Twitter, our handle is NeuroChampions as well. I'm active on Twitter too. So if you want to share your work with me, I would be very, very happy to see what you've done. So, use these networks to share your comics, to share jokes that you've just created or educational ones if you've done that. I'm happy to laugh at your comics. Just please do tag us so that we can find them. Don't be discouraged about sharing your work online. Every time I've drawn something silly or funny or whatever else, like yesterday, I've done this silly thing, shared it online. My friends were really glad to see something like that, something different. So it doesn't have to be professional. Have belief in this community, digital community that you're surrounded with, and share with us, of course. If you did like this workshop, you can scan this QR code and give me a little rating or a comment. It's on all anonymous. So if you have something that you want to tell me that you would like to see me improve, I'm glad to read that, and feel free to share that with me too. I'm going to be here next week too, hoping to see all of you guys again. If it's the wrong day for you, don't worry, there are more recordings that are going to happen to be on YouTube channel. So YouTube channel, Facebook account, Instagram account, Twitter, follow us. There's a lot of other workshops that you can attend as well. And you can, of course, book a little chat with us as a team if you're feeling down, if you want to learn more about digital detox or how you can do that, or how you can do a lot of other things, including some advice on anxiety, depression, or whatever you're feeling in your day. You can do that through creativity, through talking with other people, or through socializing with us as a team on networks. That's our team for this week, and I'll see you next week. So have fun, enjoy your day, and make sure you create at least one comic this week. That's going to be a fun thing for you. Right, I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to say bye, everyone. Have a nice day.